Good afternoon. I'm here to talk about alcoholism, how it affects your life, really. And one thing I'm going to talk about today is the fantasy and reality that we live in when we're drinkers, because it doesn't matter how much money you throw at it, no matter what you do, no matter who you're with, even beautiful surroundings, or you're traveling, or you're at home, or in the pub, it will never leave you until you leave it. And a simple example would be the fantasy of going to a pub in the winter, nice log fire, thinking of a few drinks with your friends, chat with people, bite to eat, 3 or 4 drinks, come home, nice cosy house, and spend a bit of time with your partner or on your own, a bit of music, read a book, what the normal people do. But when you're an alcoholic, the reality of that is having too much to drink, feeling rough every day, drinking to try and get over the withdrawals, and then come back to an empty flat, pretty much skint, feeling guilty, horrendous, and without much focus in life, to be fair. That's the fantasy versus reality. And when I was going through this, when I was younger, I used to try and imagine myself, I actually did it, going to the Italian lakes, we used to do that a lot. And my fantasy head was to get a little bit more with it and to travel down through Europe with my then wife, ex-wife. Didn't have children then, there's 2 of us, a reasonable income. And a 3 weeks tour in Europe and then go down to the Italian lakes, Lake Como, Lake Garda, that sort of area. And I had a couple of disastrous holidays prior, but this last one was even worse. So we went, after I finished nights, I think it was, I drove down from Essex to Dover, and then I was feeling pretty tired, and I said, well, I want to have a couple of drinks in the car. And we travelled down, stayed in Paris a couple of days, and I was like, just want to drink then. Let's start then, really. So the fantasy of, travelling through Europe and having a wonderful time, it kicked off badly. So I tried to compose myself a little bit, did a little bit of driving the next day, got down to northern Italy, went to Lake Garda, and was on these like Euro camp things, tent was all set up for you. So the first thing I did, of course, was to call in one of these hypermarkets over there and get as much booze as I could fit in the Land Rover, really. Obviously tension in the relationship, but that's besides the point. This fantasy I've had of having this wonderful, relaxing, let's get things back together again thing, calming everything down, just wasn't going to happen. But I thought it was going to happen. So I thought, well, get the first couple of days out of the way with some nice meals at night. But what happened to me was I started to drink early in the morning. If you start drinking early in the morning, you're going to keep going until you're comatose, really, aren't you? So even by 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, I had a few drinks. You go to the camp shop and get some more, all this sort of thing. So it just degenerated into arguments and me drinking more, and then one day I was so pie-eyed, shall we say, that I started into this central tent pole in this Eurocamp tent thing. I was struck, and the whole thing came down. Crazy. So no tent. And I meant to see the guy next day who ran the site. I explained to him more money was shelled out to move to another place. I nearly set the tent on fire, went out with the barbecue, I just left it going. I put some, a little bit of diesel in or something just to get it off, and it was just ridiculous. Loads of problems with the campsite. Moved to another campsite. More expense, more drinking. So I had these 3 weeks away, and we'd already booked the ferry back. So I'd sort of stick it out. So all I did was drink, really. Drink, argue, drink, argue, drink, argue, and sleep. And one day we said, we'll go to this water park thing as well. I wasn't feeling up that. When you're drinking, you don't want to do anything apart from drink. I went to this water park, and in these water parks over there, there are lots and lots of, these usual takeaway places and food stalls, but they all sell alcohol, don't they? So I'm feeling so rough one this was a really hot day. With those hot days, it's always hot day in the summer in Italy, isn't it? So get in there, start to argue a bit more again, and then I'll never forget, I had this ice cream, and I was walking along, I had this half a beer, it's like a plastic glass with a lager. It was packed with people. And I said something which is probably out of turn. I can't remember exactly what it was. I've got an idea, I won't be going to go into it, about her. And she just stuffed this ice cream in my face. It was so embarrassing. People People were quite shocked by it and started to scream at the top of her voice, "You effing idiot, drunk," and all this sort of thing. And she said, "That's it, I'm off." Bear in mind, this water park was about 15 miles from the campsite in Bardolino, it was in Italy. And it must have been about 3 in the afternoon, so I'm thinking, well, she'll surely not leave me here. I knew where the car was parked, a rough idea. Say Bay 17 compound D or something. So I went over there after I had a couple of drinks, obviously sat myself down, as you do. No car there. I was left with a few Italian lira as it was then. No phone, there was no mobile phones then. No way of contacting the site. I couldn't remember the main, the landline number for the site. I can't remember how much lira I had, but I thought, all I did was have a few more drinks, and I thought, I'm going to have to get this. It was getting a bit, sort of 6 o'clock was starting to peter out, people were starting to go home then. I was sort of left in the middle of nowhere, really, to be fair. And so I walked across along this road. There was no footpath, really busy Italian roads. I drive quite fast over there, even on the country road. I've got 15 miles to walk. I mean, I was fit then. I was only in my late 20s, early 30s, I think. And I walked and walked and walked, and I found a bar and had a few more drinks. But I had enough lira, because it was very cheap there at that time, you know. And I thought, where's the next bar? And the guy told me it's about a mile up there. I'm getting closer towards this campsite, but time was ticking on there. It was like 8 o'clock by then. Completely, you know, I was completely knackered, I hadn't much to eat. I was just staggering about really in the road. I'm surprised I didn't get knocked over, to be fair. I eventually found a bar, and it was run by this Italian couple who had a son who was actually in the police. I was in the Met then. And he said he would take me back to this campsite. And then from then on, I obviously got back, and the whole holiday just degenerated into madness and arguing and usual stuff. You drink too much. All I did to mask all it was just to stay up all night drinking for days and days. Eventually the time came to come home, and I'd maxed out all my credit cards at home, which I didn't know about. There was problems getting fuel. Got back into the UK eventually. Had the hangover from hell for a week after, I think. I'd been off, took a month off of work or something. And the whole thing was just a waste of time. So although, I had this beautiful dream of this romantic drive through the Alps, which we did all that. But I didn't really see it, because I was drinking my bottles of Stella in the car. Every keyring I had a bottle opener. And that's all it was. It was just an excuse for me to drink more. It doesn't matter where you go in the world, or what you do in life, the person or the thing that's going to control you is the drink. It will take everything from you, including your life in the end. So when you have this, start to get this fantasy versus reality carry on, where you think you're going to go for a nice 2 or 3 pints, you end up having 12, missing the last bus, underground, train home or whatever. That's the reality of it. And that's the reality of what will get worse, because every incident where you're drinking more and more, you'll have more withdrawals, you'll sort of have hair of the dog more, your health will deteriorate, your finances will deteriorate, your house will deteriorate, your relationships will deteriorate. Nothing will get better with alcohol. To me, it's a young person's game. It's a young man, young woman's game. We can do it when we're young and fit. We can't do it when we're older. Nobody can. The ones I know who still try and do it now, my age, a lot of them have passed away. Some are very ill. Most of them have had some sort of incident with a stroke, heart disease. Look, I think there's virtually none that aren't. I mean, I've got no medication. Most of them got high blood pressure tablets. One guy's had pancreatitis twice. Takes 17 pills a day just to keep him alive, and he's still in the pub. And I just think, now I'm clear of it. My life's opened up unimaginably for me. I was just talking to my partner last night. If somebody told me in 2019 when I was in hospital, diagnosed with all these issues, that I'd be doing what I'm doing now, then I wouldn't have believed myself. So you can recover. And it takes a lot to do that, because you've got to change your whole mindset. And it's very difficult when somebody says to you, you can't drink again the rest of your life, especially if you like drink. Let's face it, we all like drinking, don't we? Otherwise we wouldn't have done it. And when they tell you, if you have another drink again, you die within 6 months and you've got to stop. Or you die. There's only 2 ways you can go. You can go left or right. The good way or the bad way, depending on what you want to do. You can drink yourself to death as well, if you want. You do what you love your life. I'm only here to give you my advice and tell you what I've been through. And one of the biggest things is fantasy versus reality. I'll do another one this week about the nightmare of the alcoholic, which is basically the fear of running out of alcohol. which is a massive, massive problem. So if you're starting to feel any of these things, a lot of withdrawals, that sort of thing, do something about it. If you're not dependent on alcohol, you can't cut down without there being any medical issues. But reach out to somebody, talk to me, talk to other people who are doing this sort of thing, get some help, see the doctors, push the doctors a bit, because there's a lot of people going in there every day with alcohol problems. And no matter what the people tell you, the rate of alcohol-related deaths in the UK is the highest last year it's ever been. People will say, oh, younger people aren't drinking as much. Well, I spoke to a consultant not long ago, a liver consultant, and she said it's nonsense. She's seen more and more younger people with cirrhosis, with fibrosis, with pancreatitis, with heart problems, and other issues, cancers are caused or linked to alcohol. So basically, it's very, very bad substance. It's advertised widely. People are actually actively encouraged to drink, and you've got to get off the drinking train and get on the sober train. Unfortunately, mindset change. You have to have a good incentive, but you can do it. So if you've got any issues, then drop me a line. If you are benefiting from the channel, then please subscribe and share it. I've got an ebook out. I'll put the link in there. I'll do some one-to-one mentoring as well. But just put my email, the address is in there. Send me an email, have a chat, see what we can do for you and see what can help you. Because if I can recover, anyone can recover. Because my list of diagnosis was horrendous in 2019. And I've actually got a copy of it I can send you by direct message if you want. If you need to know any more about my situation, as it were, 5-6 years ago. Because I've recovered now to the best level I can, really. I mean, there's always going to be a little bit scarring to the liver, but my blood's normal. I'm not on any medication. I go to the gym. I'm pretty fit, really, for my age, and I think you can get back. If I'd gone back on the drink in 2019, 2020, then there's no way I would be here. So I'm thankful for every day. I'm thankful for all your support as well. You're good people. There's a lot of knowledge on this channel now. A lot of people sharing information, stories, experience, and it all helps. Because it's a battle to do it on your own. It's a battle for me every day to stay at the pub. I mean, I go in the pub and have 0%. But it's a battle. It's always sitting on my shoulder thinking, so what's it like to just have one, what would it be like? I've done that so many times, relapsed, I'm not going to do it again, as far as I'm aware. One day at a time, folks. Speak soon.